You know something that blows my mind? Usually after a dynasty ends, a team goes into full rebuild mode for years. I mean, look at Jordan and the Bulls, and what happened after their '98 championship. Look what happened to the Spurs after their big three decided to hang up their sneakers for good. But the Golden State Warriors, on the other hand, after their Hall of Fame trio gets on the other side of their prime years, are gonna have 4 monsters replacing them.
His basketball IQ, he's got 3 fouls. Oh my goodness!
Oh, Poole had Clarkson fall down and then hit the
assist leaders in the league. Moody and hit it. And up ahead, Kuminga.
Man, the Warriors' young core looks downright scary, and what's even scarier is that they are just getting started. Among the Dubs' young guns, Jordan Poole is the eldest at only 22 years old. JK and Moody are still both practically borderline teenagers at 19, and lastly you got Wiseman, who is just a complete monster at just 20 years old. If it weren't for the Dubs' current All-Stars, they definitely see more court action, and to rightly put it, you can actually build a competitive team around these 4 as your starters with the level of talent and skills these kids possess. Well, speaking of which, why not break down these young guns to see just why the future of the Warriors is downright scary? Let's start with Jordan Poole. After struggling in his rookie season, we've seen Poole's meteoric rise from the G League to the big leagues, and now he's playing elite level basketball for the Warriors, whether he's inserted as part of the starting unit or whether he's coming off the bench. JP3 is a microwave scorer and a creative slasher that is paid to put buckets on the scoreboard, and with that being said, let me show you what I mean. So you got JP3 over here on top going against DeJounte Murray. Now, when Damian Lee comes over to set a screen, JP3 uses his quickness to slither in the gaps on the defense. And knowing that the Spurs don't have an elite shot blocker, he attacks the rim and finishes the play with a 3-point opportunity, the old-fashioned way. Here against the Heat, the play started off beyond the arc just like in the previous clip. Now, when Draymond tries to set a screen, JP3 smartly lures Kyle Lowry into thinking that he'll use the screen. As Lowry approaches, JP3 hits him with an in-and-out dribble, then puts Yurtseven into a poster afterwards. Klay has kept an eye on JP3, especially when he's been filling in for him back when he was still injured. In an interview, Klay gushed about the growth that he has seen from the 22-year-old, and here's what he had to say. To see his growth as a player, it's incredible. He is playing way above where he was picked. He's looking like he should have been a lotto pick. The man is an incredible offensive player. His defense is coming along, and it makes me proud to see because he reminded me of myself when I was in my younger years. The way he would react emotionally to missing shots or having a bad game, I could tell it really bothered him. You like to see that as a vet because that means the guy really cares about his craft, and to see those hours, he would have an off-shooting night his rookie year and he would put up hundreds of shots after the game. That just shows you he wants to be great, and I'm so proud of him. He's an incredible player. Now, aside from JP3, there's another young blood who's slowly making a name for himself on both ends of the floor, and that is Moses Moody. Though his numbers aren't currently as impressive as the other 3, make no mistake, Moody is a beast that is waiting to be unleashed. I mean, for the month of February so far, Moody is hitting the 3 ball at 47.8%. And apart from hitting threes, Moody can also get you buckets when attacking the rim. Check this out. In this sequence against OKC, JP3 locates Moody as he was free to take the 3. OKC knows that he can knock it down from deep, so they close up on him. But when that happens, Moody switches gears and makes a smart play by attacking the lane instead.
Big miss too at this point in the ball game. Thunder trying to get back in the game.
Moody just isn't good only on one end of the floor either. The dude is a reliable 3-and-D player, and in this play, he put up the D against Keldon Johnson by moving his feet and drawing the charge. Despite being one of the youngest players on the Dubs roster, Draymond says that Moody is pretty mature for his age and knows the value of hard work. Moses is the old 19-year-old, does everything right, works his butt off, no complaints about nothing. He probably had someone teaching him what it's like to work hard and be a professional since he was 10 years old. The rapid rate of development that we're seeing from the Dubs' young core is quite unexpected if you're going to base it on their age alone. I mean, none of these guys reached 23 years old, and still, they're doing stuff you usually see from players way beyond their current age. But according to Steve Kerr, the progress that they're making can't be attributed to them alone, as the veteran players are also playing a huge role in their overall development. Here's what he had to say. We have guys that have been through this, and they are really invested in our young players' future. That's pretty unique and crucial. I think it shows you the kind of commitment that our players have and what kind of character they have. They really care about young guys. They want to bring them along the right way. Anyway, guys, let us continue dissecting plays from the Dubs' young core, this time focusing on James Wiseman. Before his injury last season, we had glimpses of what the 20-year-old rim-running monster can do when he's healthy. And with that, why don't we break down some of his clips during his rookie season to see how dominant this guy can be when he gets back on the court. I mean, take a look at this. After rejecting Plumlee's shot, Wiseman showed off his handles here like a point guard and just went coast to coast to destroy the poor Pistons on both ends. If that's not enough, Wiseman is also capable of dominating in the half-court set. In this post play, he puts PJ Washington on a spin cycle and throws down the hammer afterward. I mean, there's nothing this guy can't do. He can pull it from range, has both finesse and power in finishing around the rim, can get you rebounds and swat shots. And with that footwork of his, Wiseman kinda reminds me of Hakeem, because he can do all the stuff that I just mentioned while being light on his feet at the same time. Andrew Wiggins believes James Wiseman will dominate once he returns. Here's what the 2014 number 1 pick had to say about the 2020 number 2 pick recently. He's a tank. He's been working hard, so I feel when he comes back, he's going to dominate. He has his head on straight. He comes into the facility, to the games with a good attitude, ready to work, ready to get better. The main thing about him is he listens. He wants to get better. He wants to learn. I think the sky is the limit for him. Anyway, from one incredible athlete to another, let's now focus our attention on one of the most physically gifted players in the entire NBA. I'm talking about Jonathan Kuminga. You can see here that his season numbers aren't as eye-popping as his highlight reels are, but let me tell you guys, these figures don't accurately reflect his current performance. Well, in case you're not aware, JK has been consistently putting up double digits in scoring over the last 8 games, and with his increased role in Kerr's rotation, he's only going to get better and better, which is definitely bad news for the other teams with championship aspirations. I have no doubt that JK would be in serious contention for Rookie of the Year if he was drafted by any of the other lottery teams, because man, he'd be scoring like a maniac and would be putting up even more ESPN highlights. Speaking of his scoring, let's take a look at how Jonathan Kuminga shines on the offensive end for the Dubs. Curry attacks the lane here to draw the defense. Recognizing that the Chefs got no one to pass the ball to, JK read the play perfectly and cut to the lane on sheer instinct. And you know what happens if you give this guy free airspace to operate.
Kuminga the slam!
Aside from his explosive hops, JK has the strength to bully his way to the paint. And he did just that here as he took Malik Beasley to school down low. Andrew Wiggins saw firsthand what JK can do on the court, and in an interview, here's what he had to say about him. Man, he's an athlete. He can jump out of the gym. He's fast and he's strong. He got it all. I feel like he grew a lot, learned a lot. Now he's got to keep pushing forward. The sky's the limit for him. He's believing in himself. When he does that, no one can stop him. Physically, he's God-gifted. The strength, athletic ability, quickness, everything in his ability to play basketball. He's a smart young player, aggressive, a hell of a defender. The Warriors' young core is scary because they're still just babies in the NBA, being mentored by one of the greatest trios to ever play in the NBA. Just imagine what they'll be in 2 to 3 years of experience, hard work, and following the footsteps of Steph, Clay, and Draymond. Sheesh. Anyway, guys, on an entirely different note here, do y'all know what happens when players trash talk Stephen Curry? Yeah, I know, right? Why would anyone trash talk the most lethal weapon the NBA has ever seen? Anyway, the answer to that question is beyond my pay grade, so just go ahead and click this video, guys, and like always, I'll be waiting on the other side.